Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? It's SPD on the mic. Yeah. Um, if you don't know me, I am the design guy, so to speak, of Electronic Dojo. So I do all the design work, all the posters, design the tees that you saw at Versus Fighting. You probably saw me running around with the camera and stuff. Yeah, pretty much basically today. We've got one of the members of the Dojo team. Shout out to TG Coop. He had a very let's say he had an interesting Versus Fighting. I'm just gonna let him introduce himself now. Yeah, man, carry on, Coop.
Yo, what's good, gang? TG Coop's aka Gang Leader Coop. Yeah,
gang, in there, bro.
Thank you for having me, especially as the first guest. And yeah, the last Versus Fighting is a very interesting and massively heavy, like stressful time. I don't know how you guys.
We're definitely getting to, man. We're definitely getting to, man. Shout out to everyone that's just joining us now. As I say, like, if you're just joining us, it's SBD on the mics. I'm here with TG Coop. Is one of the Dojo members. As I say, if you don't know me, I'm design guy, photographer. You probably saw me running around Versus Fighting, etc., etc. And I just thought, like, off the back of the event, like, what I wanted to do is kind of just highlight some of the members of the community. And I guess at the start, like, it's probably going to be more in-house, but obviously I'm really kind of want to open it up to like everyone, because obviously in terms of like the FGC and the community, you know, UK and that, it's massive in it. And like it kind of, it's funny because it kind of opened my eyes as I've been at Versus Fighting, and because we ran so many community games this year, it's like it's so much people and doing great things and that. So
it turns into an all-star game. Like the amount of scenes that turn up and turn out, and they make sure that they're not only putting themselves on the map, but the games are being rep properly.
Exactly. And that's the thing, they support their games as well, man. So like definitely, but yeah, man, like let me not like talk you guys here off. Like for now, like keep just explaining who you are, how you got into the scene and that, and we just go from there, really.
How did I get into the scene? Who am I?
Yeah, man. Who are you, bro?
Just another dude that plays fighting games like everybody else. Games in general. Introduction to the scene. Probably when Arcade Edition dropped. I've always played fighting games. It's one of them where I thought jumping heavy kick, crouch heavy kick was like the optimal solution.
That's the standard combo that everyone learned. Like
So that was up until Street Fighter 4 dropped, and Street Fighter 4 was my actual, like, at that time, starting uni and stuff. That was the time where like I started using YouTube more, finding out different like what existed beyond like this area, or just like playing with my friends and stuff. So like Street Fighter 4 was my actual introduction to learning fighting games at a higher level. Especially before Street Fighter 4, it was quite sparse. Like it was not that the FGC didn't exist, but it didn't exist to me. It was in a vacuum because there wasn't I suppose Street Fighter 4 brought life to the scene overall.
Definitely. Like at that point, we all know the story, like 09, like there's
09ers. I was one of those.
Massive.
So 09 happened. Playing Street Fighter 4 online, rinsing ranked, doing unoptimal stuff. Still doing unoptimal stuff, but I know that I'm doing unoptimal stuff. That's the difference. And then going through uni, continue playing the game. I actually met Super Fiasco in uni, and I didn't. Super Arrow in uni, one of Jassy's guys, and I didn't know who he was. It's a small world. Man. I brought Third Strike in, playing it on 360, on a random one, playing on pad.
The anniversary collection thing. I had that on PS2 still.
And he was at my uni, and I didn't cross paths with him until later down the line, and it turns out it's one of Jassy's guys. So small world. But Arcade Edition was basically Arcade Edition dropped, and at this point my interest had peaked, and I was like, I want to go somewhere and play. At this point it was like Neo Empire and Electronic Dojo forum sort of thing, but I didn't know about Electronic Dojo until I posted on Neo Empire asking about local scenes, and I said Wolverhampton. And funnily enough, Rakurai was the one that actually hollered back on the forum, and he was like, "There's this group of people play games, retete." So he was the introduction, to Dojo. Found the forum. Forum was quite active at that time as well.
Yeah. Back then, like forums were the thing back then, man. Like every situated right there. Like I was posting on them and all sorts.
So that like
we had the Dojo forums, and then shout out to Jason and DNA as well. Like to follow that up, but yeah, man. Like obviously, we don't need to be the history story right now, but carry on, man. Carry on, man.
Yeah, so that was my introduction. So basically, the next event was up. It was a Dojo night. It was, I don't know if it was the first one for AE 2012. But I know it wasn't too long after like the twins had released and whatnot. So
the pure issues of things dropped.
So that was me stepping out of my comfort zone. I caught the tram to Birmingham. I can't remember which venue. Like it was by the court.
Yeah, that one's GGA, Global Gaming.
So GGA was my first
proper like.
Yeah, the first time I turned up. Funnily enough, before that though, there was an event, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was an event dedicated to like retro gaming and arcades, and this event took place.
Was it Insert Coin? Maybe.
I think so. It might have been Insert Coin, and they had to build a Street Fighter 4 there not long after.
Oh no, that was that would have been SVB. I think it was. Was it London?
No, it's not that, because that was.
I was after. Because that was the first.
This was closer. But talking about crossing paths, you guys was there, and I didn't know who you was at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like
I was me mugging in like, who them man? Who them brothers? Yeah.
So I remember I tripped over a wire because it was wired across the room. I tripped over it. I was like, oh, and it was Justin who picked up the cord and like put it back together. He was like, So like at that point, I didn't know who anybody was. So went to this Dojo night. Met you guys, got games in. I ended up playing against Rakurai in the tournament. I did jump back hard punches Balrog against Yuan, and it carried me. I'm quite proud of that still. I remember that, but so I met you guys. I mean, people there like I remember the Bears, Kylo, and that.
Of course, man. Shout out. Hold on 1 second. I see Phil Blanks in the chat. Shout out to Phil.
Shout out to Phil,
bro. It's been a minute, man. Shout out.
Hope he's well. We missed him at VSFighting as well.
Trust me, man. Trust me. Sorry, continue, bro. Continue.
Yeah, so like the Bears was there, Rudy was there, Tu was there, Jinty was there, Jet was there. I think yourself was there. I'm pretty sure yourself was there.
More time I was there. So more time.
Like Veggie, Andy, Marvel was popping off. And I rocked up and I played in the tournament, and that's where I met Gin. And Gin basically turns out we don't live far from each other. I caught the tram back with him, and Gin is Genius UK for anybody wondering about the names. He told me more like just generally about the scene, and through him, I got to play offline because he would invite me around and try and train me up. Basically, it didn't work, but his heart was in the right place. I got games in with him on like Street Fighter 4 when the Third Strike Online edition dropped. Went around his and played that. That was a rude awakening as well. And Street Fighter Cross Tekken as well. So like like as those games dropped, the early period of the noughties sort of thing. Not the noughties, but like the 2010s. That's when I got to meet people, and I was regularly going to dojo nights. And that led up to my first actual major tournament experience, which was VSFighting 3, I believe, in West Brom.
That was in West Brom Public. Yeah.
So
that was the first VSFighting that you went to then.
Yeah, that was my first one. When I say it now, it's quite scary because we're obviously we had COVID. So there was 2 year.
There's a 2 year gap.
2 year gap.
And obviously the one last weekend was 12. So it's mad because I always whenever I'm chatting with Justin and whatever, and that, like I'm always saying like, bro, like we've been doing this thing for time, like and it's mad that like it's consistency and just everything else, and it's just grown. And like obviously
the
shout out to everyone that came to VSFighting last week, and we're getting to the VSFighting talk and that. Feeling that, but man, carry on.
Yeah, VSFighting 3 was my first actual, because up until that point, like in order for me to find out about the scene and whatnot, I just regularly visited event hubs. You know what I mean? So it was event hubs and cross counter TV. And that was like why I wanted to get into fighting games more, because that was the type of content I wanted to see. And it was just, it's one of them, like if you play fighters and you get past the point of wanting to play arcade mode or the jumping heavy kick crouch sweep, then that's your natural, where's the scene, how do I get involved? And then more or less you have a common ground straight away that you all play fighters. So unless there's an outlier where you generally suck as a person, like you're gonna get along with people, you know.
There's a natural common ground there and a commonality of, you know, I play this game, you play that game, or like we play the same game, X, Y, Z and stuff there. Because it's similar, like when like me coming into the scene, and that is like I'd always play games with Jinty, Alex. Like I never call him Jinty, it's Alex to me, but you know, because obviously I've known him for so long and that. But it's like we were at the point where it's like me, him, and his brothers, and we're just playing all the fighting games every week and whatever. And then it was like we found out about like Dojo at the time before it was at GGA, and then and it's just a common ground. Like you have the icebreaker, if you will, of we all play fighting games. So as you say, unless you suck as the person, you're gonna get along in it. So
like I think that's why it's for Dojo and the group of people and what it's turned into with regards to versus fighting. It's worked as well as it has because it's based off of that. There's never been a versus fighting event where like I've gone to and the ambition is anything other than just getting people to play the game. And even through the times that we're going through with regards to like esports growing, other entities being established, the way that prize plots are split and whatnot, like there's never been that like that venom to it sort of thing. And I think that's why don't like, for as much as we get onto Justin and I get onto yourselves for not running monthlies and we can't even get a bi-monthly.
I'm just a design guy.
You're just a design guy.
I'm not told to design something I do. I don't do the organization thing still. But
for as much as we can get onto people for that, it's why versus fighting and just like seeing the actual event itself grow, but also the people that help to run it mature as people. It's a beautiful thing.
It's mad. Like
it's dope.
As you say, like from the beginnings, like as you say, like Dojo's been about like 13, 14, 15 years. Like obviously there's been 12 versus fightings, but to see the growth in people as like just as people and that as all, not only obviously with the games and stuff, and like it's that for me it's like a beautiful thing, man, because I think like in the space that we have with like the Dojo team, as it were, like it's very rare that you have those kind of long-lasting like relationships and friendships, I guess. And in circles as big as we have them, like they're not even circles anymore. They're like boxes, and like it's just mad in it. So, but yeah, man. But that's it, man. That's it, man. But I guess obviously we will get into versus fighting now. Obviously, you know, we were kind of segueing nicely there. So, obviously you've been to versus fightings before. You know, you've been to plenty. You've helped out before, carried boxes, all the rest of it, big back and all that. Like, you know. Hold on, all right, no, but
those are glory days. I gotta get them back, man. At the minute, it's not looking too good, especially that photo on the poster, bro. That's revealed a lot of September onwards. I gotta be in the gym, man. I gotta be can't be treating myself over Christmas no more, man. Not good. Anyway, carry on.
But yeah, man. Like obviously, you know, obviously it's not the first time that you felt up for versus fighting, but you know, this year was a bit different for you in terms of your role in versus fighting this year. So if you kind of want to explain, you know, what you did, and then we can kind of go from there in terms of how you felt about what you do. But yeah, man, take it away, man. Take it away.
So this year I was asked to stream, and obviously what I was asked to stream GG Strive, Guilty Gear Strive, which I believe was the third most entered game.
Off top of my head,
I think was it
Tekken, off top of my head,
and then GG.
Yeah, off top of my head.
Yes. So with regards to that, the streams were to basically pool play all the way down to top 8. So it was 2 days, the Friday and the Saturday, because versus fighting is now a 3-day event, which makes it a lot easier to get as many GGs in as possible. Luckily,
yeah.
So yeah, my job was to stream those 2 days.
Yeah, and obviously Guilty Gear was a Arc World Tour game as well.
Yeah. So it's classed as a platinum event, right? So that it was one of the pivotal streams for the whole event.
Yeah, definitely.
I got asked. I don't want to go into details, but
we don't need to go like too much into like
just
detail and whatever. But...
So I got asked, and I think I got asked off the premise of I stream regularly. I'm part of the staff, even though I probably don't chime in as much as other people. But as far as like a reliance, I feel like I'm there when it comes to getting stuff done.
Yeah, man.
And obviously, like with regards to this year's team overall, there was a few faces missing, and I think one of the biggest hits that the media team took was Will. Like he wasn't able to make it this year, but yeah, we definitely missed him in spirit, and because his expertise wasn't there. However, the stream took place because of him, because he was the one that lent me the equipment to get it done. And I say that because I've only ever home streamed. I've only ever streamed at home. I've been at events where there's streaming where I may have helped, but I've never actually been in a position where I needed to set it up in order to stream to what ended up being hundreds of people at a time.
Yeah.
You know, that like I've topped out at like a max of 40, 50 viewers, and that's due to hosting and raids. I've never naturally sat there
organically.
Yeah. So this was a different type of it was stressful, and it was stressful because I wanted to make sure that I didn't let the team down, and that the quality of the stream matched the other places, because it's not fair on Dojo, and it's not fair on the players, and it's not fair on the fans of that game to just come in. But one of the first things I said to Justin when he asked me was, if I stream it, it's going to be a poverty stream, innit? So like I was loud and clear on that. But obviously he already took the steps to
kind of put things in place, like
Sorry.
So I guess when obviously you were approached in that now, like a man is in the wilderness. A man is in the wilderness right now. There you go. So okay. So when obviously you was approached to like streaming that, like initially, how did you feel? Like how did you feel? Was it like it's an opportunity? Did you feel more like, as you say, you don't want to fuck it up? Like how did you kind of feel in regards to it initially?
So I read the text, and I definitely don't think I answered straight away. I tend not to actually over text. You know, when you go on WhatsApp and you hold the message, so you can
So you can
So I did that, and then
you can still read the message, but it's
So I was mulling over it for a while, and I wanted to say no, but at the same time, I've never been able to. Like, I want that experience. I want to be in a position where I can. If it's not on that scale, that's fine. On a smaller scale, support, like, especially look at the games that are dropping. I know we'll talk about it later, but like these smaller games or the retro games that I play, I want to be able to go somewhere and stream that and have the know-how to pull it off successfully, even if it's not to the scale of we've got a crowd, we've got an audience, we've got a whole like this, like, the intricacies that come with event streaming, like going to a smaller venue and maybe using a USB mic. But I wanted to know what it would be like streaming
the whole equipment.
So that overpowered my curiosity completely, and I was like, if I don't take it, somebody else is going to do it, and quite rightly so, somebody else is going to do it because it needed to be streamed. I'd be giving up a chance where even if I mess up, at least I could learn from that failure.
Like you take it, and like as you've still got that experience regardless if you went one way or another. Like
but also I will say he also from the jump told me who my team would be, and that would be, he initially said Will and Jess. Moss Bio, shout out to Jess.
Shout out to Jess.
She completely killed it the weekend, and she super carried me because she has the experience too. I'll go on to the whole formation in a minute, but and then I was on the understanding that Will would be coming at that point, but then obviously he didn't. But he was there on call for the help. So just with knowing that, like, we had Sensei Will, and then you had his student Jess, who's already like 5th Dan black belt at streaming. Like, I was already like, why am I not gonna do this sort of thing?
So, you already had like the support system there.
Yeah. So
give you the confidence to be like, you know what, this is something that I can do. Like,
so that was, and I'll be honest, I was streaming. So to talk about my stream with regards to like what I have,
man,
I had a like basically, in order to stream at VSFighting, I upgraded my CPU, I upgraded my RAM, I bought a new case, I bought 5 fans, and
you're fully prepared, bro.
I did something else because I knew that, like, okay, I'm gonna stream at VSFighting. I wanted a high quality stream at home anyway. So I've upgraded it for a reason, to make sure that I can do the event. But now I have that. I don't have.
Yeah, you've got it now, innit? Like, you've got it now. Yeah, it's similar like me, to be fair, in the sense of like upgrading my camera, like probably like the week before VSFighting, because I knew what it was, and like the camera that I've got is you know, is giving me in good stead for like however many years and that now. But like, it's partly because of VSFighting, but obviously my own like uses as well. Obviously, I do like my YouTube thing with the books and stuff. Like, and it's like I kind of want to step it up in that aspect as well. So I was like, you know what, invest in the thing in it. So it makes sense.
Exactly. So it's the investment as much as it is towards the event. It's now like in a position where the event's finished. You have this, or like you have the upgrade, you have the equipment. You can now use that, reuse it. I haven't got to give it away. I haven't got to do anything. It cost me,
it's yours
but
now,
it
like,
was worth it, sort of thing. And like obviously that's only one aspect with regards to the element of streaming. So the part that I hadn't worked with at all was the sound stuff. I never worked with a mixing console. I never had to wire up headsets. I didn't know what an audio codec was. I didn't know. I didn't know the mixing console. I had to go into the audio codec. I had to go into the PC.
Pure things, basically.
So now, like, even that in itself, it was stressful. I remember trying to connect it up here at home on the floor, and I was like,
when you're testing and that, like,
what have I done, man? I was texting Will. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and between texting Will and ChatGPT, I got to an end result. And then obviously at the event, Jess came in, worked her wizardry. I wasn't wrong in the setup, but maybe like the approach to it, just the layout. She came in, she made those changes, and then her work in OBS and what I got to see and how she set it up. Like, everything's clicked into place where I've come home, I've tidied up my own stream, I've set up my stream deck so it's more optimal, and there's certain features on there that I'm now using within my stream that if I'd never gone there, the simplest thing I wouldn't even knew. So that experience itself, like,
shout out, Jess. She's in the chat, by the way. Shout out, Jess. She's in the chat.
Yeah, man. I ain't got the chat on because I don't want to see you like cussing me. So
nah, no one's cussing me, bro. You're good, man. You're good, man. You're good, man. You're good, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, like, obviously, so you know, you got there, got the event. Obviously, it was a successful stream.
Yes,
you know, you had a good team with you and all that. Like, obviously, obviously I popped in periodically. Like, I was running around the venue, and obviously I thought, let me go in, because I know what the stream grind is like at like VSFighting. Because for those that don't know, like, I used to stream that. I think I stopped streaming VSFighting. It was maybe 5 or 6, I think.
Oh, really? That early?
Yeah, because I streamed VSFighting 2, 3, 4.
4 was in Birmingham.
Yeah, that was the first one that we actually had the IMAX at Millennium Point.
Yeah. Oh,
first one, because we used Think Tank, because it was the building the rooms next to it, and then we used the IMAX the next day. And that was VSFighting 4. Then I think 5 was at Birmingham Rep. I'm sure I streamed there as well.
Yeah, I remember you streaming at Rep because you was on a laptop at that point.
Yeah.
I remember blue carpet for some reason in the room. Yeah. You was on, like,
it might have been 6. I think if 6 was at the studio, someone help me out, chat. I think 6 was at the studio. I think that was the last one that I streamed at.
Ah, okay, yes,
that was the last one that I streamed at. So I know what it's like and the pressure, and you know, you're trying to set this up, and if things go wrong and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Understand, man. But as you say, like, obviously it's gone through now, and the weekend's gone. And how do you once? Because obviously you streamed for the 2 days. So once like the Saturday was done, and you'd got to the point where Guilty Gear was at top 8. How did you and like your team, so to speak, feel like once it was done?
Oh, so once Guilty Gear was done, we had to move over to KOF. So we did. I was able to stream KOF top 8, and I'm really I'm ecstatic about that. I like that game. And the people involved with that game, they're good souls, man. So I got to stream that. I'm not gonna lie to you though, the PS4 loading times and how good the players are. I'm so glad that the grand finals didn't get reset deep down. we went to last character last game, and
it was close though. It was close.
I was hooked, man. We swapped over to KOF at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's about 4, I think. Because around 4 is about 4.
And we didn't finish till like 7:30, 8,
possibly.
And that's a top 8.
Yeah, because I remember I was around, obviously, the venue, and when it was like, okay, King of Fighters and Grand Finals, I've come off to obviously take the photos and that, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, please don't go to reset, man. Like, because I was just hoping, man. But yeah, King of Fighters is the game, man.
I'm not saying that to troll. It's just a case of the players are that good, and that game is solid. Like it's a fighting game purist game sort of thing. Like you can't. I mean, there's definitely one-touch kills and stuff, but like you have to work for them. There's no, it's no man. Like you played it, I've played it. We know what it's like. So I got to stream that. So then the medal ceremony as well. We got to capture that because we did it just in front of the camera, and then everybody cleared out. It was nice. Like Corinne Yanko, she came over and actually said thank you for the stream, which was dope. Because I know. I've seen firsthand the amount of effort that goes in from staff members, the people that are outsourced to the freelancers that have to try and even though they play games, they're not there to play games. Yeah. And it's nice to see people just throw that appreciation out. Like there's a few people in the chat say thank you for the stream.
No, that's sick.
So just that, the small things, and then just winding down and ending the stream and knowing that the stream never went down. We never had anything that malfunctioned to the point that we had to turn anything off. The Strive team smashed it because it was just constant game after game after game.
There
was a
few the bracket runners and all the rest of it.
They slewed it. So I can't thank them enough because if they didn't have. If they wasn't moving the brackets as they did, it would have made everything that much harder. And then as soon as that stress piles up, you're not thinking about the street. You're thinking about, people are not watching nothing.
You're conscious of this dead air on the stream.
They nullified all that with the amount of games that came onto the stream. And then, I ain't gonna lie, I cheated. I put it onto follower only mode. Because I genuinely thought I was gonna have to deal with trolls.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think in my experience, you're always gonna get it. I remember, I remember way back. I started to come on, but it's you're streaming and then the audio's fine on your end, and then someone would say, "Oh no, it's too low," and then you're listening and it's fine, and then the stream chat, someone else in the stream chat would say it's fine, and then you're second guessing yourself, and it's you just gotta let it wrap.
In all honesty, because I took my laptop, so we had a headset for that. It was so loud in the area though that it was hard to hear whatever. But between the laptop and the feedback from the chat, everything was all good. I didn't have to time out or ban no one over the whole weekend, and for me, that's quite astonishing. Because then, as soon as I started up the stream during the week, I had next man jump in that must have followed me from that event. And they was on a madness speaking in the next language, and 5-6 people got shot in a row. So the weekend, the people that was there, I can't thank the stream monsters enough for not even being stream monsters. There was just straight up good viewers. And then obviously I put it on follower only mode because it was only me or Jess moderating the stream, which is why it ended up being that. So the Strive team killed it. They got games on that created just in the know of what's going to happen next, what needs to happen next. And yeah, like I say, Jessie's expertise on the whole thing, I learned from her all weekend. If we was in a jam, she had the answers, and that's what I mean. Like when Justin put like the team together, he put me. He called me lead, and regardless of the role at VSFighting, this is more of a personal viewpoint on it. I'd never see myself as the lead because there's no like. I don't want to tell people what to do when it's a case of like I've got complexes I need to deal with regardless. But like appointing me as the lead, I'd rather be called the key person. So like if something happens, I'm the key person to communicate with someone. I get why you call me the lead, but like it was the event and the stream itself was bigger than me. I helped out in a big way, but I can't discredit anybody else that like from Will giving the equipment to Jess manning the stream with me, and then the bracket runners that made sure that the stream was smooth. Like
that's it, man. Shout outs to that. I say the whole team that obviously helped put the event together, like sick event, and like from what I can see on socials and stuff, everything was like sick, still popping, and like it's respect, man. But I say so. You've done that now, and did you get to actually play much at VSFighting? Because obviously you had the Sunday.
I played on the Sunday. I played a bit of CVS2 on the cab. Nice. I entered ST and First Strike. I'll be honest, I would have liked to have done better in both. But in the lead up to VSFighting, especially the week of, I didn't play anything. I jumped on the cabs cold each time. He's just like, get it done. So I would have got bodied anyway, but it would have been nice to just have that prep time maybe. But other than that, no, I got my games in. I got my lumps. I played a bit of CVS2 on the cab, like I said, and that was nice. He was on the one-sided cab though, so like I'm on the edge of the cab like this. Like, it's like and then I'm playing against Johnston who picks ratio for Sagat, and he's just
mad.
He's directly in front of the cab on his knees, like I'm like shit. So that was mad fun. Just I spent the weekend with my bro Jordan, aka TG Coop, and Connor, TG Flex, who we stayed at the hotel, so getting to catch up with them properly. So yeah, man, overall it was dope.
And then the little one came up with
she came by on the Sunday with her mom. The baby mother passed through. That was nice because then people got to meet her. Because obviously she jumps into my streams, she subs, and she speaks to everyone when she can. Kyra's like a fan favorite as well whenever she pops up on stream. Man. They came through and they got to say hello to people because obviously like for example, like Flexican Johnster, Jin Bell, she spoke to all these people, but we don't live near them. It's not a case of we meet up regular or anything. Put names to faces, and they all got to say hello. I don't think she saw Bell actually, but like she saw Jin, she saw Flexican, she saw Johnster, she saw Jassy, etc. And then Kyra got took up to the cinemas, and at that point, so at that point, Strive was on and Happy Chaos, Tiger Pop was playing. Every time they did the super, exactly. So I was like, "Are you ready? You're gonna do it?" I never got the video, but she did it.
Oh, that's sick! That's sick, man. That's sick, man.
Yeah, just things like that. Like,
love that, man.
Being able for Charlotte to see in the flesh, to know where I go for that weekend and
and what you're actually doing.
It was dope. Really, really enriching.
Yeah, that's sick, man. So yeah, man. So obviously you mentioned like CVS2 and that, and I know like on your streams and that, which you haven't shouted out right now, but feel free to shout out the stream.
Twitch.tv/Trangang, please follow me and even sub because I'm broke. And
man, follow. Man said it's broke, you know.
No, but Twitch.tv/Trangang. I stream every like 2 to 3 times a week.
Pretty consistent to be fair, man. Like probably like one of the only mans out of the Dojo team, as it were, to be that consistent. So I salute and respect it. But yeah, man, I would say like you mentioned, obviously you played CBS2 at VSFighting stuff on the cab. Obviously there was a little announcement yesterday on the Nintendo Direct. Bro, so how you feeling? But first of all, we go to like the obviously there was the Marvel announcement. I know I've checked in on your streams, and you play like X-Men versus Street Fighter and things like that. What has drawn you to those games actually? Because obviously they're older games, like but what has drawn you to go back? because obviously earlier on you said you started in 09 Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. What drew you to go back to those games first of all before we go on with the collections and stuff?
All right, so with regards to like the old school games, I've always played them in some capacity because of my uncle. So weekends at my nan's, my uncle would take me. He'd take me to like the arcade. So I can't say I grew up in arcades, but like of the weekend I would go to an arcade with him. There was 2 in Wolves. I can't remember the names of them. But like I remember walking in and Marvel superheroes being on a big double cab. And he would go play that. I would go play like the beat 'em ups, Final Fight, Captain Commando, whatever, around the building sort of thing. He'd give me my like 50p and let me go. And yeah, so he's the one that like he had SNES to PlayStation. He's the one that cycled consoles, and he'd always his friend was the plug with regards to imports for PlayStation as well. So like I was always playing these fighting games because of him. And there's obviously like growing up in the 90s, X-Men. Like, and then you throw it with Street Fighter, the first game I played, X-Men versus Street Fighter. So that has like that's always been the game that I've looked at. Like I love that game regardless.
Yeah, likewise. I think
before I even knew what it actually was. And then so like I've always had these interactions with these fighters because of my uncle growing up, being interested in them. My friends didn't play them, but I will continue to play them. And then we get to Street Fighter 4, we go through that, we grow up through these games. Like Tekken, I've always played Tekken, but it weren't until Tekken 6 I realized like how the depth or how difficult, and then being around Dojo guys and then them playing it as well, because there's a lot of serious heads when it comes to Tekken in the
Birmingham. Like when I jumped in the scene and that, like Tekken was the main game. Tekken was the game. Everyone played Tekken, and then I didn't really mess with Tekken like that. Obviously, you played Tekken 3 back in the day, but
exactly. Like, that's where I'm coming from.
Going to like Dojo for the first time, like these men were serious, and like they done had their history with Tekken and that already before I stepped in the scene and that in it. So like Tekken was the game back then.
Like that experience, and then like Tekken Tag 2 being the main one. Like I started learning about Tekken a bit more, and when I say learning about Tekken, understanding you could pick a character and then you got B&Bs. Because my whole draw to fighting games is combos. I've always enjoyed watching the counter go up. That's so for me, like fighting games, probably gone about it wrong, because the first time that I pick up a game, it's like, what combos can you do? And then I never get to land those combos because I don't know.
Because you got to do the fundamentals, like the footsies and
exactly.
all
that boring stuff, man. Let me get a jump and get like 50% damage. But so that was my approach, wrong approach. But that's why I love fighters, because I love watching that combo counter. So being around like Dojo in general and seeing the expertise in different games, and growing up through them, learning more and more, and then we end up in COVID. So COVID happens, and that was big growing pains for the fighting game community, because it turns out majority of these games that are played online suck with regards to network technology, right? So
no, I don't need to get that. It's cool. So carry on, bro. Carry on, man. Carry on.
Charlotte fell over as you was turning around. You all good? Okay. So like then COVID happens, and during COVID, Jassy starts up Virtua Chip Shop. And at that point, it's like, I think one of the big things with retro is that there's always some sort of gatekeeping with regards to how difficult a game is. Like Third Strike was meant to be the hardest game ever, and then it's a very difficult game. Based on who you play against and what your aim is. But the deterrent is, it's a really difficult game unless you're going to spend tens of years playing it. It's the same for Tekken. It's like you start playing a game for fun, and then you have to bypass all the middle bits, which is actually the fun bit of learning how something works to be elite. And I think that's one of the things that like is misconstrued when people come to the scene. Like, you shouldn't care about how hard a game is. If you think it looks cool, just play it. And then that's what happened during COVID. So these old school games that like I had an interest in, that as much as I played Super Turbo when I started playing Street Fighter 4 and trying to understand like how broke Super Turbo is with Balrog, I got to a point where COVID happens. Jesse's doing ST, he's doing Third Strike, he's doing these retro games. I'm playing them like these aren't actually that difficult. They're not. And X-Men versus Street Fighter was one of them. I went back to it.
Because I think like one of the things that you say, like, and it's probably like some of the players as well, they would say, because you know, when Street Fighter 4 came in, it was like, oh, it's not as good as Street Fighter 3, the execution and this, that, and the third. And I think that's the kind of stigma that obviously you're kind of talking about, where
every time
these games, because you know, back in my day, we didn't have like combat mechanics and see those it's still happening with the games now, because when you get games like 2XKO, for example, and obviously they say it's simplified, and then we have like all these, like Street Fighter 6 has the modern mode and all these things are getting simplified, it feels like, but then you still have like the quote unquote elitists, and it's like, oh well, you know, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. You had to, it was a skill game here, and all that. So I understand what you're saying in that sense.
So I think that's one thing, and that's like especially what pushes me with my streams, because like there's certain man that are interested in playing and the player base isn't there. But you don't necessarily need to, like X-Men versus Street Fighter. When I started playing it, there's one Donny in the Fightcade lobby, and he's always in there. His name escapes me, but he's probably one of the sickest players ever.
Yeah,
and he'll play you and he'll beat the crap out of you. But you know what? If you can overlook your ego, it's fun because you're learning as you go. And like the whole thing with X-Men versus Street Fighter, especially, and I picked that one because it was one that I had on copy myself.
Yeah, I love that game, man. I still got it on my Saturn. I still got it on my Saturn.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I probably got it on every other device that like all my retro consoles, and
that's something else I'm going to rant about in a second, actually. But yeah, I'll leave that for in a minute. But like just that, like the combo counter on that game. What's the first thing? Like if you're not coming in from it from like if you're interested in it and you look it up, what's the first thing people say? Oh, it's a game full of infinites. Don't play. It's too different. Like if you're gonna play it, you're gonna get wrapped because of the infinites.
Yeah.
But you can always look beyond that and just jump in the training mode and experience it and figure out what it is. And then like X-Men versus Street Fighter is probably one of the most simple games to do that in because it's a rhythm game. Okay, baby. I'll see you in a minute. Bye. So like for me during that COVID. During lockdown, that was a chance that I got to just not play modern fighters, and I sat on Fightcade and I played what I wanted, and I streamed it, and I had a load of fun doing it. And it's like it just put things into context, like just the learning aspect of it, and then finding out other people like these games. That moved on to CVS2, and then when you're talking to Jassy, who's played all of these, and he's online at the same time, and then he's got like, as much as he may not be like goated in each one, he has the know-how to maneuver around it and pick the cheapest thing, and you play against that. You get to see the game in a different light. So that whole it was COVID that brought me onto the retro kick more or less, even though I tapped them every now and then. And then
as I say, obviously, you know, we got the Marvel collection, and then yesterday there was the TVS2 collection and stuff like that. So like, how are you feeling about them? Like, are we gonna see you online on those? Like, not against me, of course, because you know you'll get bodied. But anyway, continue.
But you're not online to be found. No, let's get into it. All right, chat. Ask Steven how many years he's been saying he was gonna body me on Puzzle Fire. I just want the
bro.
How many times? Do you know how many PCs this man's run through, and I've still not seen him on Puzzle Fire.
Bro, you know me. I'm running back.
No. Let me speak. My piece. I want to get it on my chest.
Speak your wisdom, bro. Speak your wisdom. Carry on, man.
The game has dropped in 2 collections since he's been talking all this wreck. And I've not seen him,
bro. I let me because to be fair, obviously back then, obviously, I'm an Apple guy, so you know, and then I don't run Steam, and then I don't think I had a PS5 at the time in it. So like, I was running them games on Switch and that, but you know, like, all right, now
you was running the games on Switch. How many times have we seen each other? Where's the Switch? I can use one Joy-Con on Puzzle Fire.
Okay, we're gonna get it going, man. We're gonna go, man.
Some big duck, you know, SBD, some big duck. Anyway, game violent.
Wow, man, nah, bro. Man said some big duck, you know. I'm not like, nah, I'm not feeling that stuff. I'm gonna end the stream right now. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Nah, you're an idiot, man.
Nah,
Anyway,
but
yeah, I just say, how you feeling about like the collection? Because to be fair, like I'm hyped because, as I say, like I like those games are games that I came up on growing up, and I feel like I have such an affinity towards like Capcom and the SK games in general. Like, look at the back, like where's my Capcom book?
That cabinet's hard, by the way. That is like you might need to do a room tour.
I might have to, but like this was my childhood, man. Like this is my childhood, innit? So it's like those games coming back is like sick, man. But yeah, so we're gonna see you online on them ones though. Like
that's what I want to. Yeah, like there's so the other fighting collection. It felt like a cop out, and I feel like
the first one that came out,
previous one,
yeah.
And I did the same thing everybody else did without thinking. Oh, but Fightcade exists. But Fightcade, not everybody has Fightcade, and not everybody wants to game on their PC. So who am I to say, oh, but you've got Fightcade? So that was wrong of me to do that.
Yeah. It's funny as well because just like Fightcade was trending yesterday as well.
Yeah.
That's what, so again, I think people are still of the mind of, oh well, you know, these games exist in Fightcade. But I feel like for me personally, there's something to be said to have these games on modern consoles, ease of use, the online, just the like obviously physical form. Again, I'm a guy that likes to buy physical games and stuff. It's like there's something to be said. Not everyone has the know-how to set up Fightcade and do all of that stuff. So
but that's the point. Sessions.
Yeah.
Who's rocking up with their PC just to play X-Men versus Street Fighter?
Exactly.
Like the times that I've played it offline at Dojo is because Jassy's bought his board.
Yeah.
Like he has access to it. I don't have a board access. I went and bought a Sega Saturn, but then do I want to bring a Sega Saturn that could break at any time?
Yeah.
With a game that costs how much each time?
Exactly.
To like
you're not bringing them things. Yeah, exactly. I'm screwing as well because my Sega Saturn, the lens has been broke for. I've not got it fixed for years, man. Like I remember I was playing Vampire Savior. And then like I turned it off and I tried to turn it back on and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, like
man. But anyway,
they're antiques now. So
yeah, exactly. And you can't rely on them kind of consoles now. So for them to bring those games back onto modern times and that, like it's sick, man.
Yeah. Like emulation's great and emulation's nice, but sometimes you're not getting it might be the same with these, we don't know until it drops. But the emulation or the ROMs that they're using for these packages, they may be wrong or they may have timing issues, but like it gets to a point that as a person that is just a fan of their work, at least I have it to be able to boot it up in the living room with my daughter there or whatever and just play. So I did make the mistake like the first time around of being like, oh, we've got Fightcade, but then when you actually deep it, like you can pull up that game at a session and just start playing it if people have access to it. And that's the thing with the Marvel collection, just makes sense because everything's together. It's in one place.
Yeah, big.
And then the fighting collection too with CVS2. They have played a couple blinders though. Rival Schools 1 not being on there when Project.
Yeah. That's the thing. I feel like that's the thing that's kind of, it's not disappointing me, but I feel like they've just gone and said, okay, let's put the latest one on when they could have put Rival Schools on. Because again, that was a game that I rinsed hard back in the day. I think like even Star Gladiator 1
together.
Yeah, like a complete collection.
Yes. Like, I know they're aiming for that, but then it's like we've had Project Justice before, Rival Schools 1, if they do that. And then Alpha 3 Upper wasn't on the
I was surprised at that, but I feel like part of
the way over here.
I feel like part of Upper being on there is because it's on the same board as CVS2.
Okay,
board.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense, but I think at the same time it's a bit of a weird one. But Power Stone 1 and 2 being on there is sick because they only got ported over to PSP and he's trying to play on PSP. So I think that being on there was sick. But yeah. So obviously we know you play a lot of obviously the retro games and stream and stuff. And you know, we've gone through Puzzle Fighter and you know, man, trying to say that I'm ducking and thing, scared of the Donovan, but you know, it's all right though, man. We'll get to that, bro, man. We'll get to that, man. We will get to that, man. But yeah, I'd say if anyone's
one thing I will say on it though, on the collections, that one last thing, because I don't obviously keep it, but with regards to like the Marvel one, and the version of X-Men that's dropping.
Oh yes, because it's the one that doesn't have the infinites, isn't it?
As far as some characters got nerfed and whatnot, but yes, it doesn't have some of the infinites. Yes, the gameplay has changed. It's not drastically changed to the point that it's not playable, but it makes sense. The combo expression is not to want to play as much as the Fight Code version, whatever. People need to understand that these things aren't necessarily made for the person that has 10,000 hours instead of 1,100 or even 10 hours. Like, just be happy we've got it. Like, there's a lot of like.
That's the thing. I'm just happy that like these games are there, because as I say, like in every retro console device, the first game that I would download is X-Men vs Street Fighter, because I'm a big fan of the Capcom games.
Like, how many people popped up and said, I hope RCs are in the CVS too, which makes sense. But you're looking beyond the point that these are celebrations and
and there'll be people out there that wouldn't have experienced these games, like as mad as that kind of sounds and that. But man, it's what time is it? It's 10 to 8 now. I said, I'm cutting into your stream time now.
No, I'm enjoying this. This needs to happen more. These are the dialogues that need to happen so we can find out about people. So no, I'm happy.
That's true. But as I say, if anyone's just joining them, SBDs, got TG Coop. Coop was one of the guys that did the Guilty Gear stream at VSFighting. Shout out to him and Jess and Well and all the rest of them. And let's say I'm the design guy, as it were. Like, some of you know me, some of you don't. Like, you probably saw me around VSFighting. But I guess in terms of obviously your general streams, like obviously you stream like the retro games and stuff and that, but there was also a period of time where there was a thing called set tripping. Would you like to explain what set tripping was, Coop?
Set tripping was basically featured bouts, or for the last 2, I believe, I managed to pull off like a fight card that consisted of like.
Sorry, no. Now, Phil in the chat has asked an important question.
Oh no!
He says, "Where do you buy your do-rags from?"
Bro, they're off Amazon, man. I ain't gonna lie. These ones, the silkies hit this. These ones hit. To be fair, I need to get some more. Bro, we need a do-rag sponsor in the scene, man. Because I will go ham with content if we get a do-rag sponsor. So I don't know if anybody's got the hookup, but I need colors, man. Because these silky ones are nice, but I'm seeing the American Donnies that have access to all these exclusive,
like, the wide range of things.
I need that, man. But Amazon.
Set tripping, bro. Set tripping.
Yeah, so it was fight cards and basically just matches that there was no rhyme or reason, and it was a case of like the first one happened. Was you on the first or second one?
I don't know, maybe the second one.
Yeah, so then that like even that, and then it was like Ash must have called out Cleaver, and then they had like a sort of trilogy or a double, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. That one was kind of.
It was a way to bring matches out of the group chat and put them on, and then we did a fight card for KOF, and then Street Fighter 6 came out, and I managed to get one done for that before the Civil War. Like, it was like, we had that happy moment where Street Fighter 6 unified the scene, and people was getting games in, the group chat was popping.
It was mad.
As soon as people just disliked Drive Rush, it fell apart, didn't it? So that was the last one, and it had some really good games on there. Meek played Alex, Valarax played Lavelle, and Ace played. Who did Ace play? I can't remember. But we had 3 matches like that happen. And
so it actually started. Did it actually start around KOF time? Because I can't even remember.
Yes,
I know
it started with KOF.
Actually started with KOF. Yeah.
Just and it's like just trying to pick out natural fights, or just if somebody's running gums, like get it done, sort of thing.
Yeah. So if they're running them out in the chat, just like, all right, step up on the stream, and I say for me, like I was like whatever, because it was cool, and I got bodied, and it was, but is Steam that
you played your set, and it was
I was cool with that.
All it was and all it is. It's just a way to get people onto stream so they can show that they're playing the game. They like it, and they want to try and put on a show or get better in that instance.
Exactly.
That, because there's nothing at the end of it other than
I
put your name on a poster and I tried to design it and put it out to like hype it up. You know what I mean? And it is something that I want to do, and it's an avenue that I want to go down. But also, a lot of the time, people see a poster or people see a name, and they can't just get on with it, and it has to come with a lot of gas. And I'm not into that. I just want
or the additional extra stuff that goes on in these group
so
yeah.
It's hard to kind of set it up when, like, I'm not blaming Dojo because I'm lazy, but like, let's say we have an offline that's more regular, that natural storylines can occur.
It's natural. Yeah.
I want to call you out.
Yeah,
I can run that for you, and it can be like Dojo can run it too. But if it's a case of I'm already streaming, I'm more consistent.
Because it's kind of like cutting into your kind of time, and then you're having to do like the legwork essentially to kind of generate the quote unquote hype to get people.
And it's a bit difficult, especially when the people in the group chat. It's not a case of not wanting to put the people on in the group chat. It's a case of they play each other regular anyway, so it kind of goes down. It's like I was playing each other before they got to the set, which is fine because they're practicing. So it's like how like I'm at a point where I would love to do it, but it's like Jassy. He would love to do virtual chip shop. We've got careers. This isn't our career. It's like doing extra time. So it's hard to. It's not that we don't want to do it. It's just hard to commit, and it's
it's committing the time. Like even for like this now. Obviously, I know like Wednesdays is your stream time. I'm an idiot for telling you like Wednesday and that, and it's like, but I think again that's the thing. I kind of. The reason why I wanted to do this was because naturally off the back of versus fighting, and for me it's like more selfish to be honest, because obviously we talk on what everyone calling that, but I kind of wanted just to get how you felt about like versus fighting and your role in versus fighting, and then just obviously just shoot the shit basically, which we are. So, and I just thought, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, let me set the time, let me set the day, and then just go from there, and then hopefully we can get more going on a more regular basis. And but so with like set tripping, is it like it doesn't matter what game? Just whatever. Because to be fair, there's a lot of men that are playing Granblue right now. Like,
I know, but I've got no. For me to be like, oh yeah, you man are playing Granblue, should I do that? And I've never touched the game, and I don't have an active interest in it.
That's fair.
Case of like, if I'm playing something at the time and I have knowledge of how either the game works or at least the lobby system, then
you've got to have an interest in it.
So it's like Tekken. I wanted to do one for Tekken, especially when the game dropped, but their lobby spectating was a mess. And since then it's ironed itself out. But as the game's progressed, people have dropped off, or it's people aren't asking for games in Tekken. So it's like I've got to then do like I'm planning on just doing lobbies for it again and making that my simple stream where I can sit back, get my games in and watch what's going on. I would like to do that with the collections coming up. And then maybe off that, it's like, okay, this one night we've got not an event, but like
we've got a fight card, if you will.
Whether it's 1, 2, or 3 games, whatever. But like at that point, at least it's more natural and people are actively playing the game, sort of thing. I think it might happen with the Terry patch.
To be fair, Terry looks good, man. Like,
but the top gassers in chat aren't top gassing anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gone quiet. Certain man have left. Certain man just don't play the game. I say certain man, I'm not trying to be sly. I just generally mean people's interest in Street Fighter 6 has dropped. And like Dante, he was super vocal for Street Fighter 6. Tekken 8 dropped and he's been grinding. He's not paying attention to anything in that group chat. He's just grinding. And I rate that, you know what I mean? But he was part of the gas that was with regards to Drive Rush and the whole everything that was happening in Street Fighter. And sometimes we need that to create these conversations.
To create like the buzz to get those kind of things
to call out one another and like as long as it's all game, you know what I mean?
Of course.
But that's what set tripping is, and I would love to do it again, and we'll see what it holds in the future.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
As I say, I might try and get some kind of lobbies or something going at someone. You know, I don't really play none of these games and that no more, man. But if it's like to try and just get something going and so we have like
but that's what I mean. Like, it's like the lobby work and stuff. It makes sense, but you gotta have the players want to come in and just chill there. And I think that's why my stream's a bit different, because they can talk to me, I can jump on a Discord chat. You can do the same, but it's also an investment of your time if you're not
it's time. And as you know, I'm a busy man, like, you know.
I know. LittleMiloBooks.com.
LittleMiloBooks.com. We're gonna get to that. Why have I not got a book with me now? I am slipping. Where am I booking? But yeah, now we're gonna wrap it. We're gonna wrap it up soon anyway, because shout out.
My mommy and me.
Yeah, that's one of my
2 copies. Support black business.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, my other one's with it as well. There we go. So
Yeah. Nah, respect, bro, respect. Like these are my children's books on the screen, so shout outs Coop for like promoting the thing and that and supporting, and yeah, we're gonna get the plug at the end. So if those don't know, I do like children's books as well. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, as well as doing all the Dojo stuff. But that's like the side stuff. If you want to find out more, just go to littlemilobooks.com. I'm on YouTube, all the rest of it. But yeah, man, Coop, this has been quick, man. I think I was gonna ask, like, so what are you out of the modern fighting games now? Are you playing any of the modern fighting games now, or are you just
playing Tekken? And I would like to return to 6. With regards to Street Fighter 6, I just got to swallow my ego and get bodied, because that master rank talk at the start proper put me off. It was like like the group chats was popping. I fought tooth and nail to get there. I couldn't understand why I played the game, and it ruined the experience for me. Whereas Tekken 8 is being like, I got over that quite early, and by streaming it, there's been a lot of help from Gin, especially just coaching me through it and changing my thinking and philosophy on it. And then just gelling with the characters and understanding the game. Even though it is I can definitely say, even though I didn't play the others as in depth, it's a different type of Tekken, but there's still a lot to absorb. So yeah, Tekken, I would like to go back to Street Fighter, but I'm gonna be banging these collections. Like I generally, I know that the romance period of the Marvel collection will wear off quite fast.
Yeah.
That because it always happens.
Yeah, so that's the thing. These games come out, people get hype, and then and then give it a while, and then it just fades out, and it's like, oh, no one's online anymore, and then isn't that because
exactly. So that first week or two, I am probably gonna do nothing but X-Men versus Street Fighter while I can. And then obviously it'll return to the Discords, but hopefully it returning to the Discords doesn't mean that everybody's got to queue up on Fightcade. There's going to be people on consoles, and these events that happen, hopefully the retention is there for them, so that it's an option. But it's going to be the same with the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. But the important thing is it brings the people in, and it gives us access at the next dojo night where somebody can be like, I'm going to boot that up. That's this setup.
Exactly. And there's not an issue at that point. Like, it's just there.
But just got to appreciate what we have when we have it, and for when that collection drops, I'm gonna be
I'm glad they announced the release date of the Marvel one as well, man, because I'm like, they announced it so far ahead of time.
Oh, I booked off the Friday. I booked off the Friday immediately. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna do like, I got work of the Thursday when it drops. I booked off the Friday. I'm looking to stream 12 hours, man. I want to leaderboard chase while I can. Like, as soon as that first, it's gonna be a case of, if I don't leaderboard chase on within the first 3 days, someone else overseas is gonna do that has a bigger player base, and they're never gonna move from top 3, and I'm not gonna get the chance because I'm in UK and there's not as many players.
There's not many mans on there, and that's all. Like, it's a different thing.
Bodied or not, I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, and if anybody else is attracted to those games, just play them while you can, and make the memories in while you can, sort of thing, because it happens with all fighters, don't it? So
that's sick, man. But as I say, man, I'm gonna let you get onto stream for now. I appreciate your time. Appreciate everyone that's been watching. As I say, like, I just thought I'd try and do something, and I'm gonna try and make this more regular, because there's so much, as I said at the start, like, there's so much people in the scene, not even just the dojo community, but like the fighting game scene in general, as we saw at Versus Fighting, that I kind of want to reach out to and kind of get on, because again, you've already mentioned man's like Jassy, and that obviously the wealth of knowledge and experience that he has. I'm gonna try and get him up. Obviously Alex Ginty as well, like longtime friend from here and that, and obviously there's people that probably don't know how good he actually is, or what he's done in his like quote unquote fighting game career. So I'm gonna try and get some more interviews and stuff on there. But for now, is there anything that you want to shout out? Any people that you want to shout out your stream? Like, stream schedule, all the rest of it, man. Like, shout out Justin to you. Don't be angry, Justin.
Shout out to Mum for funding the habit, man, because I honestly wouldn't be here with the mindset that I have with regards to anything if she didn't, like, as much as it was a case of giving me games to shut me up and keep me busy, it's helped out in the long run, and it's kept me out of trouble. So I'm going to shout out my mum while I can.
Shout out, man.
Shout out the rest of TG. Shout out my bro Jordan, versus fighting winner as well. I'm not gonna let
that
I ain't
was
gonna win it. So
that one
yeah,
was 5.
KO.
Was that one 5 or 6 when he won KI?
2016, so I think 6. So yeah,
Like that was,
TG Coop star. Yeah, shout out him.
Yeah,
shout out the rest of them. Shout out Connor TG Flex. Shout out to you guys for just supporting the scene out of love, and giving us like a home to get these games off. Because if Dojo didn't do it, who would? Sort of thing. There's been people that tried, and whether or not they failed or not doesn't matter. They have tried, but nobody's succeeded in the way that you guys have, at least around here. So thank you for that. Like you guys being the ones that have been there like from the start, or even the forefathers. I don't know the pre-law, but I know Jason,
bro,
Lom, etc.
like Lom, shout out
guys
Lom.
for...
I'm hoping to get. I'm hoping over time if
yeah.
I can build this thing. Like I'm hoping to get all of that, man.
So yeah,
I feel
thank you to them for creating that, and then
Yeah.
giving the reins to Justin and you guys, like especially you, with the amount of like
I respect that, bro.
the effort, the amount of art, the assets, like just making things easier to spread the information. Like Dojo doesn't look as appeasing without what you do, so you need your flowers at every possible moment, man.
You hear that, Justin? I deserve my flowers still, you know. Like
Justin knows
no credit, well. You know.
But yeah, and yeah, shout out to Justin as well for just like,
of course, man, always.
He takes anyone in with open arms, and like as long as your personality's right, he's gonna try and help you any way possible. So yeah, shout out to you guys, shout out to the rest of the dojo. And yeah, twitch.tv/Trongang, youtube.com/Trongang. I've got Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and TikTok if you want to follow those. Just find a profile, the links will be off there on my link tree, etc. So yeah, just want to say thank you for having me as well. It's been dope, especially the first episode.
It's been sick, man. Like I definitely want to do more of this. And as I say, I think for me it was just more, I kind of wanted to get like your experience on how you found versus fighting, and just in general as well. And like I feel like it's been definitely like eye-opening for me in terms of how you got into the scene and stuff. And now, man, respect, man. Like always love, man. Always. Yeah, man. But you're still gonna get bodied at puzzle fighter though. Still,
you have to cover your mouth because you didn't want. You didn't. Like, let's just don't.
Okay, the next versus fighting, man. Next versus
fighting. Nah, there better be bread on the line if we're waiting that long.
On the big stage, bro. On the big stage. Auditorium, let's go.
I'm down. Set up day. All right, say no more. Set up day. We're not gonna get there any other time. It's gonna be set up day. I'm down. You can see
we'll hook up, man.
You can see your gems get crashed in 4K, bro.
You clown, you know. Nah, man. Anyway, no, bro, respect, man. Do you think, man? Like, we'll catch up on your stream. Appreciate. Before I go, I've got to shout out everyone for joining, everyone that's watched, everyone that's watching on YouTube when this gets uploaded. Shout out to everyone that came versus fighting. It was a movie, man. Like it was a lot of hard work that obviously went into the event and everything. Shout out to everyone that was a part of the event, everyone that came down, even like food vendors, everyone that made the event what it was. Like you guys made it what it was. So shout out to you guys. But yeah, I'm just gonna let me share my screen. I just gotta shout out my own thing quickly. LittleMiloBooks.com.
Oh, the transition as well. Is this all? Nah, that was crazy. Is this?
These are my series of children's books that I've done. Just LittleMiloBooks.com. You can also get them on Amazon as well. So, you know, I gotta plug my things out. As I say, I'm a busy guy. I got
hold on. Why is there not a Little Milo bookstore at Versus Fighting? What are you doing?
Next year. Obviously, I'm too busy.
What happened to this year?
Now, waifu wasn't. She couldn't come because I can't run the store.
Okay, fair. All right.
Like, waifu couldn't be there. Like, I'll let you so it was like, obviously, I can't run the store. Who's taking photos? Who's updating socials, bro? Like,
yeah, fair.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But next year. So I've got like coloring books coming. I got something else big coming very soon in regards to like this side of stuff and that. But yeah, man, for now, I'm gonna I've lost right there, right? I'm gonna stop sharing this for now. Yo, Coop, it's been sick, man. Like, I appreciate your time, man. And everything, man. Respect though, man. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you later. I'm not sure when the next one's gonna be. I'm gonna try and do bi-weekly for now, and then we'll see how it goes when I get the guests and stuff. But I say I'm gonna try and reach out to the wider FD. It's not gonna just be in-house dojo stuff as well, because there's some people that I met during VSFighting weekend that kind of inspired this as well. So, but for now, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Keep an eye on the socials for when the next one's gonna be. But for now, I'm gonna go get some food, and I might play some retro games. So yeah. Bro, see you later, Coop, man.
Peace.
Peace.